It was 1986. I was living in New York City, and I just sold my first tax book, and I made a lot of money. Now, not a lot of money for everybody, but a lot of money for me at the time. Now, I didn't want to do anything rash, like save some of it, or put it aside for retirement. So I quit my job and headed out to find out where I wanted to live in the United States. The New York winters were just getting to me. Plus, being a Westerner, I wanted my car, and it's impossible to have a car in New York City. So I went to LA and got an apartment there. So then I had an apartment in LA and an apartment in New York. I could base my travels from either coast.
And at the time I was living in Fort Worth, Texas, I had just ended a couple of disagreeable relationships for which I'm eternally grateful. I had a nice job at an accounting firm. I owned my own home. My favorite things to do were go to movies and play tournament bridge. I also golfed now and then, and I checked the personal ads just to see what was out there.
I really wanted a relationship, but it's hard to find anybody when you're traveling around all the time and don't even know where you're going to be from one day to the next. I knew wherever I'd like to go, I wanted to get a girlfriend right away. But I was having a hard time finding a place to live. Every place was too big or too small, too hot or too cold, too crowded or too boring. But then I thought about Fort Worth, Texas. I'd worked there once in a while, and I liked it. It had lots of live theater, 150 movie screens, and I had some friends there. So I decided to give that a shot. Plus, I was running out of money, and I needed to go back to work.
When we first met, Greg had a lot of money all the time, but he never seemed to do anything for a living. I thought, oh my God, I hope he's not a drug dealer or something.
Anyway, I got an apartment in Fort Worth and immediately set out to find a girlfriend. Now, I'm not a good dater. I don't like to date people I don't like. So, I normally end up dating someone that I work with or someone that I've known for a while, but I didn't have time for that in Fort Worth. So I decided to do something I'd never done before, place a personal ad. I took a full month, asked lots of women for advice, because I wanted my ad to sound sensitive, whether I meant it or not. I did have demands and preferences, of course, but I decided not to put any of those in the ad. Somehow, height and weight proportionate just doesn't sound that sensitive. So after a month, I had exactly what I wanted.
And I had never answered a personal ad before. A few weeks earlier, I'd seen one searching for a golf partner. I cut it out, carried it around, but never responded. So this time I decided I'm going to write right away. The ad said, movie buff wanted. DWM, divorced white male, wants and needs relationship with counterpart movie watcher, dinner goer, traveler, incurable romantic, hugger, and huggy. I'm 52, but don't feel it usually, or look it, I'm told. 6 foot 2 inches, 185, non-smoker, social drinker. Not fussy about age or smoking. ID 28296. My, he sounds so sensitive. I knew I could write volumes to a real movie lover. I had to find out if he was a real movie lover. But that meant I had to tell him something about myself.
Back in those days, you answered personal ads by letter. I got 100 responses, but I only answered one besides Kathy's. She wrote, to ID 28296. I am answering your ad for this reason. You specifically requested a movie buff, and I am that. Before we go any further, though, let us stipulate that there are different types of movies, and consequently, different types of movie buffs. If your favorite all-time movies are Porky's Revenge, Rambo 1: First Blood, Friday the 13th Part 8, any Police Academy flick, or Dawn of the Dead, then perhaps you'd better stop here. But please return my picture with a stamped, self-addressed envelope enclosed. Ooh, feisty. I like that envelope. However, if your favorites could include Godfather 1 or 2, and/or 2, Casablanca, Night of the Hunter, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, or To Kill a Mockingbird, then we might have something here. She tells me a bit about herself and then says, I don't know what else to say other than I'm a woman in my mid-40s, no apologies. Ooh, feisty again. She goes on, maybe I should be dropping hints all over the place about what a hot number I am, or maybe I should drench this note in perfume. But that's not me. What I am is a reasonably good-looking, moderately intelligent, halfway interesting, green-eyed, brown-haired adult female with a pretty smile, so I'm told. Wow, sounds good to me. And her picture's nice, too. It must be weird, though. She's got to be an accountant or an attorney, because nobody else uses this long, ruled yellow paper. So I think I'll answer her.
From Greg McKean, the movie buff. I sure did enjoy your letter. I was intrigued by your list of, in effect, good and bad movies. I like all of them on your good list. I have to plead guilty, though, to liking almost all kinds of movies, with 2 exceptions. I don't go to movies about divorce, Kramer versus Kramer, or those where the major character dies of a terminal illness, Terms of Endearment, or Beaches. The star can die, that's okay, but terminal illnesses bother me. Surprisingly, I haven't seen any of the films on the bad list, except for Police Academy. Actually, I kind of liked it, but had no desire to see the others in the series. He tells me more about himself and then writes, this is pretty strange though, Kathy. I'm not really bashful, but making contact with someone I don't know is difficult. Even making contact with someone I do know is tough. I put the ad in just to see what would happen. I didn't expect to hear from such a nice-looking and nice-sounding lady. Ooh, this one's a silver-tongued devil, I can tell. Continues. Maybe we could get together for a cup of coffee or a glass of wine. I'll call you soon, unless I hear from you otherwise. I think I'll answer in one more time.
Dear Greg, thank you for taking the time to write. I enjoyed your letter also, and I'm so impressed. I mean, you can actually spell and punctuate. It's becoming a lost art. She tells me a bit more about herself and closes with, I would indeed like to talk to you. So hesitatingly, I called her, and we agreed to meet at a bar and grill near her place.
We talked for 6 hours that first day. He certainly is, I thought, a pleasant enough person, and he doesn't try to impress me with how important he is or how much money he makes. I like that. It sure is strange that he's moving to Fort Worth from both New York and LA at the same time, but he did warn me in advance that he had to be out of here by 4 p.m. to meet a friend. I wonder if that's so he can make an exit if he needs to.
I didn't really know what to think, but I thought it was amazing that we talked for 6 hours, and that in itself was enough to see each other again. So we went to a movie or two, and to a concert, and then I knew I wanted to keep seeing her, and it was time to bring out the big guns, dinner at my apartment. So I snuck in some catered food, champagne, candlelight, Edith Piaf on the photograph. And suddenly, everything she said was devilishly clever.
He's so funny and witty. The next thing you know, you're right in the middle of an Irving Berlin musical.
I hear music, but there's no one there. flowers, but the trees are bare. All day long I seem to walk on air. I wonder why, I wonder why. I keep tossing in my sleep at night. And what's more, I've lost my appetite. Stars that used to twinkle in the skies are twinkling in my eyes. I wonder why.
You don't need analyzing, it is not so surprising that you feel very strange but nice.
No.
Your heart goes pitter-patter, I know just what's the matter, because I've been there once or twice. Lay your head on my shoulder, you need someone who's bolder, or rub down with a velvet glove. There is nothing you can't take to relieve that pleasant ache. You're not sick, you're just in love.
I hear music, but there's no one there. I smell blossoms, but the trees are bare. All day long I seem to walk on air. I wonder why. I wonder why. I keep tossing in my sleep at night. And what's more, I lost my appetite. Stars that used to twinkle in the skies are twinkling in my
You're not
eyes.
sick, you're just in love. We're not sick, we're just in love. That phase doesn't last very long.
Thank heavens.
Things start to settle down, and you begin to notice each other's faults.
Or would if we had.
Right. Settling down is good. We were married a year and a half later, and that's been almost 16 years now. Looks like we might make it.
Maybe it's because we mostly like the same things. And we're good at compromising when one of us likes something and the other one doesn't like that. We do, however, argue once in a while, but maybe that's okay too.
We don't argue that much.
Well, once in a while.
We do not.
If I did,
Do not.
if we had any advice to give to anyone who's in a relationship or thinking about one, I guess it'd just be to be kind to each other as much as you can.
On November 23rd, 2041, we'll celebrate our 50th wedding anniversary, and we can hardly wait.
Say,
Well, maybe just one more thing.
be my guest.
We ain't got a little of money.
Maybe we're ragged and funny.